A beautiful scene at the Greenfield Stadium as New Zealand and Korea make their debuts in the 2014 Hockey World Cup. I'm Quentin Hull, and this is a men's match on the second day in beautiful Sunday afternoon conditions. Good to see fans from both countries a long way from here in The Hague at the Netherlands, making a bit of noise. Not too many in the stadium at the moment, with this game starting at the same time. The Dutch men are playing across the way at the Kayasera main stadium. But as ever, the Kiwis making some noise, and good to see support from the Asian nation of Korea as well. These teams ranked 6th and 7th in the world. The Kiwis slightly higher on the current world rankings. So on that measure, we're poised for a very even contest. We'll have the anthems before we get into the hockey. So not a big contingent in as yet, but enthusiasm for those that have made the long trip from the other side of the world for this highly important game. Any game at the start of a World Cup, well, any World Cup game, in fact, all important. But to get underway with a good result will no doubt be the goal of these two teams on this Sunday afternoon, with the sun beating down in Europe. A long way from home for these two teams, but so many hopes of success in The Hague. And this Kiwi lineup has had some good success of late, having made the World League finals in Delhi last year, where they were runner-up to the Netherlands. So much experience, and Dean Cousins, their captain, more than 300 caps to his name. And there's Colin Batch, the Australian who's the coach of the Trans-Tasman rivals of the Aussies, the Black Sticks, out of New Zealand.
One team, one fucking team.
Come on, come on.
One, two, three.
Well, enthusiastic's one way to describe that. And the Koreans also with a similar style of pump-up session to get themselves ready, and a lot of experience here. Plenty of players with more than 200 caps. Lee Myung-ho, Lee Nam-yong, all over 200 caps. So too Jung, Yo Hyuk-sik, Hyung Yun-song, all with more than 200 games. So a lot of experience for this man, Shin Seok-hyo, the coach of Korea, to call upon in this opening game and throughout this tournament. Nick Hague, he's been around for a long time, and the 34-year-old Lee Myung-hyo in goal. Our officials, Javed Sheikh of India and Paco Vasquez from Spain. I'll be keeping a keen eye on the contest to ensure all runs smoothly. Zhang Jong-hoon, he's another 200 game plus player as well. So just a few moments to wait before we tick to the official start time for pushback in this game. He's a man well travelled, Colin Batch, and some optimism certainly that the Black Sticks men can perform well at this World Cup. The crowd counting down.
3, 2, 1.
The Kiwis and Koreans are away in their 2014 World Cup campaigns. As expected, New Zealand in black off to the right of screen, and already a chance into the goals. It's in the opening seconds. Steve Edwards has scored before the clock hits 20 seconds. Can you believe it? What a start for the Black Sticks. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And such a major tournament. Worth reviewing. Just an incursion down the right-hand side. And there's Edwards himself putting the ball on, and then off a loose stick, Edwards was able to flick it past the keeper, Lee Myung-hyo. And Steve Edwards has given New Zealand a dream start. I'm not quite sure we can get an exact count on how many seconds it took, but that is something quite extraordinary. That's got you going, hasn't it? And I'm sure it's made the Koreans switch on now as they control the ball out on the right-hand side. Through Kim Song-joon. The Black Sticks get the free hit. Phil Burrows, one of the real veterans of world hockey. 321st appearance today for the number 18 for the Black Sticks. Andy Hayward. And that one's gone over the side before Shea McAleese could get a controlling stick on it. 1-0 New Zealand. Hope you weren't late to turn on for this one. The Koreans were, and it's cost them a goal. Tang Jong-hyun. This is Lee Sung-il. Trying to just show some composure. Well, these two teams have played against each other in the pool phase of the last two major international tournaments. Showing great emotion of a man that's seen his team go 1-up before everyone's taken their seats. Different emotion for that man, no doubt. Yes, at the 2012 London Olympics, these two teams met in the pool phase there. We'll just hold on that thought as again the Black Sticks going on goal, but the tomahawk shot too high. Never really threatened the goal. But yes, in London, Korea won that game 2-0 at the Rabobank Arena, with the number 10 for Korea, who's playing here today, Yoo Hyuk-sik, scoring both of the goals. And 4 years ago at the Delhi World Cup, New Zealand won 2-1 on that occasion. So they are closely ranked. Black Sticks 6, Koreans 7, have had close wins over each other at the last two major tournaments they've met at. And we expect a pretty tight contest today. Here's a good run from Hung Yun-soon. Got a nice stick coming in from Andy Hayward. Well, it was Simon Child, in fact, coming across. This is Hayward with the overhead. And a nice controlling touch from Hugo Engels. That's the Engels shot a short time ago. Good purchase on the tomahawk. Just going over the top. Control here from Tung. And now Young out to the right. Lone striker showing good skill there. That's Lee Nam Hong, and just in time the Black Sticks close him down. But Young Sun Hoon's on the ball. Now Yu, the man who scored those 2 goals in London for Korea, wins the ball from the side. Man free in the bottom corner, or in from Nam Hyun Oh. But again, good defence from the Kiwis. Here's Engels away and beating a few men. Good run this from Hugo Engels. He's got support. Child back to Engels on that preferred tomahawk. Oh, and almost the deflection from behind his back there. Could have made it 2-0 for the Black Sticks. Child just unable to get the deflection on goal. As we have another look. Wasn't too far away. Oh, he had the keeper beaten as well. Plenty of time to control. But that's probably a disappointing result there for Simon Child. Speaking of Simons, my co-commentator today, the 3-time Olympian Simon Mason, with me. And wow, what a start, Simon. A goal in the opening 15 seconds of the game to Steve Edwards for New Zealand. And it's well, got us all up and about early here.
Well, it certainly sets the tone early on, doesn't it? I mean, to come out of the blocks that fast and to be able to get your nose in front that early on. It's a great setup for the Kiwi boys.
And I was mentioning at the top of the program, the stands were pretty empty at the start of this game, but now a lot of Dutch fans, having just seen their men play on the main stadium, are coming across to have a look at this contest between 2 closely ranked teams. A bit of space in midfield for Korea here. This is Oh, down on the right. And nice work from Aaron Pancha. So we've got 2 sets of brothers in the Black Sticks team. Aaron and Jared Pancha, and also Simon and Marcus Child. And that's just going to be a bit too tough to reel in. Well, what do you do, Simon, from the Koreans' perspective? You're not even awakened into the contest and you're a goal down. How do you settle yourself back into going about things while not trying to be too rattled with what's just happened?
Well, you almost have to try and ignore it. That's the whole point. It's such an unusual start to an international match. Okay, it's a World Cup, there's nerves, that sort of thing, which is probably why they've gone behind. But you have a game plan. That game plan was set out to try and win the match. You were going to have to score goals to do that. So you trust in what you were set out to do, and they'll just keep applying themselves, trying to create circle opportunities.
Tung with a good run there. The men in black swarm around, and Hague, well, for a moment, able to extricate. And the goal scorer, Edwards, just giving away that free hit. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it at this level of hockey. Opposition not touching the ball from the pushback before the first goal goes in the net.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't happen very often. I'd like to maybe our statisticians behind the scenes can come up with the fastest World Cup goal. Well, that's definitely got to be somewhere close.
Yeah, it's in the envelope when they read out the nominees are. A lot of experience in this Black Caps team. The Black Sticks team.
Yeah, the experience they have isn't just around their older players. You've got people like Kane Russell. He was a Young Player of the Year nominee. Fantastic player, great energy, really good skill set. He'll be looking to dictate play down the flanks from half-back.
Well, Chin was the creator down the right side, but long corner and quickly taken by Kung. And inside the circle. But shot lifted and a free hit to the Black Sticks.
Yeah, as he's tried to swing at that, he hasn't got his hands low enough, so the stick's chopped down on the ball, popping it into the turf and dangerously up off a body.
The Kiwis in their 9th World Cup appearance, and it was way back in the early days of the World Cup, early 70s, early 80s, when they had their best performances. 7th 3 times in 73, 75 and 82, which is surprising when you think that they were the 1976 Olympic gold medalists, that they hadn't performed better at the World Cup. Aaron Pancha.
Yeah, well, I think that Olympic success was something of an anomaly, having chatted to the Australians. I believe they beat 1-0.
Well, of course the Australians would say that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
First Olympics on artificial pitches back in 1976.
That's right, blame it on the surface.
Now a bit of composure. Good press. Steve Jennis, nice and high there, ensuring that there's no really easy out at the back here for Lee Seung-il. And that's a well-worked high press from the Black Sticks to win the side ball. Shaw, and back to midfield to set up.
Yeah, it shows a degree of confidence to press out that high, to step your centre forward into a position where the pitch is truly cut in half. It meant that when the ball came back to Yon, he was really looking down the line for an option, and in doing so just missed the most basic of traps.
Burrows still looks in good shape for a man of so many miles in international hockey. Oh, good stick. And another incursion here, Burrows. But not to be. 34 years of age.
Yeah, and you have to say that's not a 34 years that he's played for international hockey at an average intensity. He puts absolutely everything out there. He's one of those competitors that, as a keeper or as a defender, you know will be somewhere close to every ball in the circle. Quite happy to throw himself, put his body on the line and drive through every single moment with everything he's got.
So even more of the Dutch fans coming in. How did it end up, that one, across the way?
Dutch ran away 3-1.
Okay, that was over Argentina.
Yeah, over Argentina. Ming van der Verde, penalty corner, another penalty corner disallowed for coming off the defence. Dutch intensity.
And of course, great interest to these two teams because it's the same group. And Burrows again, living up to his name to really get the stick in there after the ball. Auto pass quickly taken by Aaron Pancha.
Okay, that's good.
All the way back to the reset position.
Now, but you look at the territory Korea are giving away. They're setting their press when New Zealand have the ball. They're sitting 10 metres inside the halfway line.
And here's a chance on the quick release. Young, hassled by Alex Shaw.
Alex Shaw making the most of those long legs and striding down the pitch, covering an immense amount of ground quickly, but without looking like there's any real effort to it.
Well, Young and Yu combining. And still the Koreas with the free hit, deciding to try and suck those Black Sticks defenders out of the 25 by bringing it back to midfield and switching play, but that's a very loose piece of skill.
I don't think Lee had made his mind up who he was passing to, whether he was passing to Yang at left half or further up the field to his forwards, Lee. And in not making that decision, it meant that it went between those two stalls.
So I mentioned a 9th World Cup appearance for New Zealand. This is the 6th World Cup for Korea, and they've twice been into the medal rounds without tasting a medal, beaten in the playoff for bronze. As well, here's a half chance for Lee Nam Hyung, but quickly away by the men in black. Yes, in 2002 they were beaten by the Netherlands in extra time in the bronze medal game, and then extra time again when they lost to Spain in that bronze medal game in 2006. So 2 times they finished 4th, and that's been their best performance, and they did finish 6th in the event 4 years ago in Delhi. Stats are even enough, but when you have a head start of 1 goal, which was the case with that Edwards goal in the opening moments.
Well, there's your 1-shot, 1-goal stat that you kind of take away. But since then, neither goalkeeper really being called into action on a regular basis.
Kim Sun-jok with that long ball. Marcus Child.
I'm surprised as he's been penalised. Kim seemed to come through the back of him.
Sang. The skipper, Lee Sung-il. And this is Lee Sun-hoon. And the stick in the way there from Kim Sun-jok. Surprised a few, I think, in the world hockey circles with the great performance the Black Sticks were able to put on at the World League finals. Admittedly, they went through 2 shootouts in the quarterfinals and semi-finals to get to the final, where they were comfortably beaten by the Netherlands 7-2. But what have you heard about the way that this experienced team in black have been performing? Mace, we'll just wait for that. And here goes Lee Sung-il, and a chance at the back line. Oh, the very well-placed defensive stick there to ensure that that cross wasn't going to any danger. Simon Child in the right place at the right time.
I'm blocking. Last time, though.
Well, that shows team defence at its absolute best. As Korea have burst through, there's 2 leaves as the ball goes to the baseline through 2 sets of feet. And in the end, it's Simon Child, renowned for being an exceptional forward, picking it off his own goalkeeper's feet.
Lee Nam-hyung had put it to the perfect place, but it was a black stick and not a Korean stick, where he had hoped.
And go back to your question, Quentin, about the surprise of New Zealand's the outcome for New Zealand. I don't really think in world hockey now, in the top sort of 8, 10, 12 teams, there's much of a gap between your top 4 as there used to be.
Just watch Ingles here drive the back line and keeps going. And that's, whoa, very close to, oh, that was off a black stick. I thought for a moment it was pushed behind by the defender. We might have had a penalty corner.
Oh, there's just sometimes like tenacity and aggression off the goalkeeper's toes in the end. And then, yeah, it's just his own touch that knocks it over the baseline for Ingles. Be it therefore the surprise about New Zealand, I don't think it was much of a surprise on the world stage. They just played brilliantly well through the course of the tournament. Penalty shootout obviously is a little bit of a lottery anyway, and it stepped them up the rankings into those really crucial last games. And then it was only when they got to the final that I think the gap between the Australians showed.
McAleese and Child, sorry, Simon, just as the Kiwis were building there, yeah, you were finishing your tail, but we get the drift. I mean, it shows that these 2 teams here rank 6th and 7th in the world. We speak of Australia, the Dutch, the Germans, but there's a story at this tournament beyond that.
And I think there will be. I think somebody's going to step up and disrupt what many purists would call the old guard. I think the athleticism of some of these athletes, the individual skill that exists, just means that there'll be many, many twists along the way.
Andy Hayward. He's out in the left, and Cousins out in the right, controlling things were more centrally Cousins, but he was out in the right side there. And the long ball chopped off by Kang Myung-Kwe. There's the skipper again, Lee Sung-il.
Well, New Zealand, to create this high press, had gone to a back 2, forced both their halfbacks up the line. That means you can step your midfielders another 10 yards forward. Similarly, your forwards can then go up and create pressure.
Hung Hee-sung with the run through midfield, and it ends up down low with Kim. And that's the first penalty corner of the game.
Yeah, against Cousins, it was the first time ball attempted into the circle. Cousins is looking perplexed. It definitely hit his foot. I don't think he can quite believe his foot was inside the circle. Let's see closer. on the replay. This first time ball in here, Cousins only just that back foot can only be 3 or 4 inches. Absolutely spot on from the umpires.
20 seconds, bye.
So let's have a look at this Korean penalty corner battery. Nam Hyun-oh, he's set. So too is Kim Sin-jo. First penalty corner of the game. And the drag flick is well saved by Devon Manchester, getting the left glove high, protecting that top right corner as Tang Jong-hyun was aiming at.
Almost nonchalant with the save with the big left hand, and you have to assume that he read it very, very early because there was pace, venom on the shot, but he was totally balanced when he made the save.
Blair Tarrant with the dribbling run there. Even Blair Tarrant past the 100 caps as we relive that corner.
Yeah, out to the left-hand castle. It's then open-wristed. It wasn't as far in the corner as we thought. For a relatively easy save, but still, keeper Manchester had to be balanced, had to execute well, deflected it away to safety.
It's a Pool B game. So the side of the draw here, these two teams, we mentioned the Netherlands and Argentina, but also South Africa and Germany on this side of the draw. The Germans beating South Africa 4-0 in the first game of this second day in The Hague.
Right, New Zealand have changed their frontline press now. They've dropped away to allow Korea to come towards them. And Chiamos, a lone figure, possibly 5 yards too high for his teammates. To set your front line in a certain way. He's trying to deny the crossfield pass, but has got beaten behind himself. Lines were all wrong.
So Nam's come up to provide the option, and Zhang Menjie trying to put that in. Wins the long corner. Back to Nam. He gets around Jared Pancha, and now down low. Well, Ute was looking dangerous. Quickly, the long corner is taken. Zhang puts it in. And again, can't penetrate, and the Black Sticks will come away. That's Kim Son-jung on screen there. 29-year-old of almost 120 caps. A lot of experience in the Korean team as well. Was speaking at the start of the broadcast. Handful of more than 200 games. Simon Child. And nice run here from Aaron Pancha. Oh, 3 men to beat for Blair Hilton. Quickly back to Pancha. And now,
It's a great tackle.
Janice
Super.
had it absolutely back pocket pinched from him by Tang Jong-hyun.
And then he's just taken his own wallet back from that pocket.
Excuse me, that's mine, and that's a loose touch from Steve Edwards. His touch wasn't loose early on, if you've just joined us. And he could almost be forgiven for missing the first goal, because it was within seconds of the start of the contest. Koreans didn't even touch the ball as it was worked from the whistle. And a touch from Edwards and some loose defending saw the Black Sticks open their account before we'd reached the half-minute mark.
And as the Koreans handle this ball on screen, away out to the left of our shot, Cousins is marshalling his defence, trying to keep himself clear.
Well, that's a good through ball. And again, Yu Ho-sik, he's a dangerous man. Down to the back line, still working, went over. Yes. Kiwi fans don't like it when this man's near the ball, having scored those 2 goals in the pool game in London against them.
Yeah, it was poor midfield defence, centre-half position, just got a little bit loose, and he was able to just drive around the baseline.
Hague and compatriots just happy to, again, work it back to the reset position. Korea with 4 men basically in a line defending that central part of midfield. And now the press comes from Yong.
Yeah, and that press is clever. Yon stepping out there, cutting the pitch in half, and it means that the bobbly ball such as that, the Korean front line can step out to.
Shaw. Well, a nice touch from Sang. And here he goes, Sang. Lovely bit of skill to get over the stick of Hayward. And through the legs of Ingles. Nice work. Oh, but that's a poor touch. First up from Lee Nam Hong. Rather agricultural cross.
Yeah, if there was ever a hit and hope, that was it.
Well, Child's got space, but he's outnumbered, so hence he's not going to go on a searching midfield run.
Yeah, and that shows a degree of experience. Quite often in a game like this, you get into turnover, so a team will attack hard with pace. They'll give the ball away, but because of the intensity of that attack, the opponent picks it and tries to duplicate it. And every now and again, you just need someone with a calm head to go, you know what, we'll just keep the ball 15, 20 seconds, recycle it, reset, and we'll dictate the tempo.
When will that incisive moment come here? Just over 10 minutes to the break. And the Kiwis happy to play with patience, having found that opening goal. Aaron Pancha. Russell. Very measured build-up. Shaw's looking for the man down low in the left corner, and Ingles couldn't control the overhead.
Well, he couldn't control it, but I'm not sure it was the right ball anyway.
So the previous run, beautiful skill from Sang Jong-hyun. Over, through. If he could have gone under, he probably would.
It's getting everything out of the locker there, isn't it? It's seeing the space behind the defender, playing simple balls through, but it's the measured pass. There's not too much pace on it. He can collect it once he's dinked it into space. Awareness of what he's trying to achieve. It's not just mindless dribbling.
Here he is again. Kang. Again, having to resort to the overhead, and that's a nice piece of stick skill from Blair Tarrant, and wins the free hit for Korean in the danger zone, but wastes it.
I think it's really difficult for our viewers or the average hockey player to understand the level of touch that these athletes have. They're using the highest specification equipment in terms of the stiffness, the carbon percentages within it, that generates a massive amount of power for shooting, hitting and slapping, but at the same time they're really hard.
Saw how the crowd has built now that this is the only game being played inside Hockey Park, this magnificent venue not far from central Den Haag.
That's a great overhead though, into space.
And away goes Shaw with nice control and good pace as well. Closed down 3-on-1 in the end. But again, just a moment of nervousness for Korean fans. On the counter, it's Young. Well,
Okay.
another chance to get inside the circle here. It's Hung Eun-song who's going to control things. Big wind-up and dangerous.
Yeah,
and he's not happy, Dean Cousins, there, about the nature of that hit. I think just suggesting to the umpire, Shahik, that that type of plays, that's 2 times now.
It is. It's been driven down that right-hand side, and the ball's been pulled back and crashed across. And there's a suggestion every now and again that maybe it's a deliberate tactic to not injure, but certainly put under some physical pressure the opposite number.
Well, Janice has got some space, he's got some support, but Burrows just unable to get his stick on it. Still inside the 25 for the Black Sticks. Nice, good low stick there from Hung, defending.
Yeah, whereas Burrows was obviously an honest mistake. It was a great passage of play, real understanding between the Black Sticks front line. Ball was dinked over a Korean defender's stick. Burrows was able to pick it up, but then the recycle play from Shaw, he was a little careless, didn't know what his options were in front of him and just tried to drive it into the circle and turned over cheap possession.
Skip up to Nam. And a nice bit of skill. Just seems that midfield defence of the Black Sticks is certainly a little higher than when it's the Kiwis in this position. Have settled back a little bit in the last few moments or in this passage, but throughout there hasn't been too many easy passes around the back for Korea.
Now, the Black Sticks will have to alter the height of their press. You can't full court press for an entire international match. It doesn't matter how fit and how strong you are or think you are. You might be able to get away with it, but the damage it will do to you long term over the course of this 6-7, potentially 6-7 matches is massive.
Well, O was on the run there, but Andy Hayward was well positioned.
So there's a confident man. Cousins chucking a 40-metre aerial across his half-back line.
Oh, and a tomahawk ball downfield. Was hoping for Steve Jennis. Beyond the 100 caps now, the 23-year-old. The sun is beating down here on this Sunday afternoon. Well, into the evening, really. Just past 6 o'clock local time in this part of Europe. Now again, Korea down the right-hand side. This is Sung Mei Jae with a cross, which is well controlled. Stick was nice and low there from McAleese. Had some help. Was there a foot there? Oh, that's the call. It looked a bit like it, but Tarrant's allowed to get away with it. And now, well, Burrows again.
Yeah, there's a green card been shown by Paco Vasquez. We have to assume that's for deliberately breaking down play. There wasn't massive stick contact, but as Burrows came through, carried the ball one-handed outside his left foot. As he pulled it left to right, 2 Korean players in the way.
So we'll be able to pick up the number plate of that player now with the Kiwi the attack foiled. 4 minutes to half-time, and still the first phase of the game is the difference on the scoreboard. That amazing opening goal to Steve Edwards. 1-0 New Zealand. McAleese. And Panch's touch is well controlled by Edwards. Over off a Korean stick and quick side auto pass taken. But now again Korea, a chance to come away. Oh, just a half a fumble from you. Kang. Hong. And the skipper, Lee Song-il. Tang. Again. Just going with that glory ball into the D a little. Trying to really launch it in to see if they can find a loose stick. And again, the intention of you there, just looking to wind up and crack it in. It seems a little bit desperate at the moment. Oh, and there's a man down, and to the advantage of the Black Sticks, they are away. And here's a chance for Marcus Child. Long corner.
Yeah, Marcus Child closed down by Lee as he went to his backhand. Lee very cleverly getting close enough to make sure that he didn't allow Child to swing and get a decent shot away. As a defender, bizarrely on the backhand, the best thing you can do is get as close as possible. The closer you get, not only is there more chance of an interception or contact on the ball, but actually the stick's then not going to rise up and swing through and injure you.
A little over 2 to the break. And a late chance for New Zealand here. Burrows winds up. Oh, and he had a man there waiting, but the keeper in the way. Alex Shaw was ready, but Lee Mung-yo was able to get some padding on it. Now another dangerous moment for Korea. And well controlled by Kim Sin-jo, and a green card is shown I think it's McAlee. No, it's
Ingles.
not. It's Ingles, yes.
Yeah, he swung and then came in really hard into the back of the defender. Goalkeeper Lee playing it into his own net, but those rules have changed. The days of the own goal in the past.
Not so distant past.
Not so distant. That would have been an own goal under the old rules.
90 seconds and counting. And that's a very dangerous ball.
Well, and it's a tactic that Korea developed once there was that own goal rule, is they very much causing us, as Hugo English has picked up a suspension, but Korea did develop, and more so than other teams, the crash ball into the circle when any mistake by a defender, never mind an attacker's touch, could lead to a goal. And as opposed to some of the other teams who've adapted their tactics subsequently, right now it doesn't feel like they've done so. They're still smashing as many balls into the circle as they were.
Last minute of the opening half. Well, we saw a goal in the first minute. Still just struggling to fathom the start to this game, and that's the difference. The opening goal to Steve Edwards. Nam has got a man on down the right. This looks like a bit more of an incisive entry to the D, and the penalty corner is drawn by Lee Nam Yong.
Yeah, that's what I give it. I'm off hand. You want to go?
Bit more
No.
structure and purpose about that, it seems.
Yeah.
And it's brought
No,
Korea a penalty corner.
But they've gone to video referral because the conversation is it's come off the hand of the defender, which is on his stick, and therefore there's no danger.
I've given a penalty corner for a foot, and they say it's not a bad.
Yeah, so important to say no danger after.
They check for me.
Yeah, so hand and no danger.
Now they will check both things.
No danger.
Okay, he's checking both the things. Yeah.
Is no danger.
So let's have a look.
He's checking all the things.
Yeah, that's interesting because Cousins has made really sure that it was given for the foot. There wasn't a foot, he felt it came off his hand, but he's making sure there's nothing about the danger in the question, because that's not the question that's been asked.
Right here.
Because it was given for the foot, there was nothing subsequent to that. There was no Korean player anywhere near the ball. So that's hand, that's back of his hand. You can clearly see that, and it doesn't hit any other part of his body.
That's not what we're asking.
Did you hear that?
This is a very technical
not that. I
referral
talked to him, not
from
the
New Zealand.
And not the technical people.
Well, he asked a very specific question. Cousins was really clear on what he asked. Clarifying the umpire gave it for a foot. It wasn't a foot, it was off his hand. But we heard the conversation about there was no element of danger within it. The umpire didn't perceive danger.
So the fact that it's gone dangerous after the contact is...
For you.
Yes.
It hit the defender's hand, therefore there was no foul. Restart with the bully.
With the bully, okay.
So just to clarify, if that had been given for dangerous play...
Well, to be completely honest, I think we'd have to get some advice on what the video umpire can actually interpret. Can he interpret the entire passage of play and therefore comment on the danger, or can he only comment specifically on the question? And that's what Dean Cousins was really emphasising when he asked it.
Well, that's half-time, and New Zealand lead by 1-0. And there's the goal scorer. I'm sure even when he was playing under 10 hockey back in New Zealand, he wouldn't have scored a goal as quickly as he did. Quite bizarre. But nonetheless, that's the difference. Kiwi fans like the scoreboard. And the crowd has built up. So we're well poised for an entertaining second half here. Stick around. The Black Sticks have the advantage by the 1 goal over Korea at half-time. Welcome back to this Pool B game, half-time between New Zealand and Korea. And the goal in the opening phase of the contest is the difference. Steve Edwards with that amazing opener. And here it is. It took, well, let's almost count it down, Simon. I'll do the counting. You can watch it happen again. 13 seconds for number 31 to put it into the backboard. Wow.
Yeah, and Korea just didn't look ready for it, did they? And New Zealand just kept coming. There were a couple of opportunities. That one, Charles, behind his back, would have been an exceptional finish. Saw it, watched it, just unable to get that final killer touch.
And this was a good moment from Ingles. It looked for half a moment that there was a hint that the defender pushed that over the back line, and they may have got a corner from that.
Yeah, and if Ingles hadn't got a touch, I'm pretty sure they might have gone.
And this was the nice save from Devon Manchester. Flush into the middle of the padding of the left glove. And the numbers to half-time in this one.
Well, look at the conversion rate, circle penetration to shots for New Zealand, 6-6, so 100% outcome every time they get in the D. Korea in the D a lot, but very little to show from it.
Well, of those 12 circle penetrations, there would have been perhaps 2/3 just wild smash balls into the D. There's some colour of the World Cup. There's more, of course, at FIH_hockey on Facebook. Like us to see all of the colour here and send us your photos, tag us. Here we are having fun in The Hague, but we know that you're watching us from all around the world, be it through your television sets, on the live internet stream, however you're joining in. It's great to have you a part of what is going to be just an awesome tournament already here at the back end of the second day. Huge crowds again. And
yeah,
what is
going
going on there?
That's a little bit harsh thing to do with Stocky, our World Cup mascot.
Stocky doll?
I'm sure there's something against that.
They're going to shoot a miniature him into the crowd.
Yeah. Don't write in. Don't tweet about it. It's okay.
No Stockies were harmed in the entertainment of crowds during The Hague 2014.
Absolutely. It's not real. It's not real.
Oh, Stocky's going to shoot it himself.
That makes it a little bit better, doesn't it? I didn't even get there. The greatest anticlimax of half-time.
That hasn't happened across the way at the Kaisera Stadium. It would have gone into the moat, the gap between the crowd and the pitch. Well done, young man. How do I get back? Oh, that's worth a replay. Oh, he's mishit it terribly, Stocky. And it's fallen short of the target.
I'm fairly sure our super slow-mo technical television crew are used to filming things a little bit more dynamic than that. Here we go. Is this one going to be any better, however?
I reckon if you're not in the front row, you're no chance. Good to see that young man's found his way back into the seat. Oh, from
pick
two.
it up and throw it. Pick it up and throw it.
A shocker from Stocky.
And the crowd are on the pitch.
Of course, the organisers are saying, well, if we put 2 Muscats in that shooter, we would have hit some in the head and injured them.
It's that thing, isn't it? The Kaisera Stadium's so big, if you've got enough gas in there to get it into the crowd, if you fired that here, it'd be over the top of the stadium.
Well, a light moment. Let's get down pitch side. Nick's got Colin Batch.
Colin, that was some start. Have you ever seen a quicker international goal than that one?
Oh, it's a terrific start. We know there's a long way to go, but we've got our noses in front at the moment. It's an important break for us, but we've got to play a good 35 minutes to secure the win.
You were certainly in the zone leaving the field at half-time. Can you give us some idea of what was said in the dressing room?
Well, we've got to maintain our quality of passing. There's no good sitting on a 1-0 advantage, so we discussed that a lot, but we also got to take care of some of the Korean counter-attack. We did that pretty well in the first half. We need to continue that in the second half, and 35 minutes of good hockey.
And you've won an Olympic gold, sorry, not Olympic, but a World Cup gold medal. Does that make this a special tournament for you?
Oh, everyone's different. Yeah, certainly. We need to go.
Away we go.
Thanks, Nick Irvin, there with the Kiwi coach, Colin Batch. And I doubt, in fact, yep, it's expired. We're not going to get a goal as early as we did in the first half, although that through ball had some power on it from Kang. But yet again, just from anywhere inside the 25, it seems Korea happy to just try and slam it in to the circle.
Yeah, to be fair to Korea, the New Zealand goal did come from a ball that was slammed in from that right flank. However, they've consistently done it over the course of the first 35 minutes, and nothing at all has come from it. So then a change of tactics may well be required when they've done small interplays between 2 and 3 players using their pace down the flanks. I think there's been greater outcome from it.
So Tarrant out on the defensive left, and McAleese just forward of that defensive last line, but now he shifts into that left back position as Tarrant moves up the wing. And I'll take a run, says Shea McAleese. Well read though by Nam Hyun-oh. On a good stick. Ingles with plenty to beat. Doing well to show some skill and win a free hit.
Well, Ingles have worked back really well into midfield, and that's a lack of communication between Burrows and Panchir. Burrows wanted to let it go to get some width. Panchir didn't read it at all. Maybe no chat out in the middle of the pitch.
Young and Oh for a moment trying to get it moving quickly forward, but back to the reset position, and the captain, Lee Song-il. That overhead is a nice one and well controlled by Oh. Pancha there with him, but Oh again cracks it in, but to no avail.
Well, that was a better pass in terms of it was hit ferociously, but it was hard and it was flat and it was towards the far post. He's peeled his feet round nicely and been able to swing at it. And that's the best line of ball in for a tip-in, because you can get players on the forehand.
But it does seem like an ancient tactic against the rule change of earlier this year.
I don't get it because of how often it's being used. It is a decent tactic if you've got space and you've got a passing lane, as there was on that occasion. However, so many times it's just been a hit and hope, and the players, the athletes, are too good.
Ooh, good quick touch there from you on the reverse stick, and now it allows Korea to go inside the circle through Lee, and here's Hyung, and now Hung. But plenty around Kim Song-sun.
Showing that Korea can get far more outcomes just for small interchange. They played that across the pitch, down the line, almost rugby-esque from one player to the next as the pace continued to grow. And eventually they were able to pop it into the circle almost uncontested. Needs to be built up from closer to the New Zealand circle if they're going to get outcomes.
Oh, again with a big ball in. And, the deflection clears the danger. Hung wound up, thinks better of it. Zhang. Oh, and that's behind off the stick of Cousins. Not intentionally, according to the umpire.
Cousins did well to get his feet out of the way and pick that off his toes as it was deflected high, but not dangerously, because he was turning as he tried to make sure he knew where his attacker was. As a defender, if you get flat on, square on, your shoulders straight onto the ball, it's really difficult to see what's going on behind you. A couple of teams that we've watched so far this World Cup, players have just been lost, not been tracked properly in the circle.
Poor overhead from Cousins, and that one goes in without a touch inside the D. It's been good. Ote Kun.
Okay, now you can play.
Very energetic. It's hard to really get a balance of play. We saw the possession stat was pretty even, and plenty more circle penetrations for Korea, but that's a sign of their very long-range tactic. So forget the scoreboard, Simon, what's your feeling?
I just feel that the Korea is just a little bit hopeful. I mean, yeah, they're getting the ball up to within the 23, and now when they're starting to press out, if they steal the ball in the New Zealand 23, then they are going to get some outcomes because they've got brilliant individual skill. but I just don't think they're utilising it. New Zealand, on the other hand, just sitting back a little bit too far at the moment. They again were more effective when they were more aggressive and stepped out and pressed higher.
Well, there's the Briton on the Australian. I thought I'd be talking in metres and not yards. I'm calling it the 25, you're calling it the 23. Don't get confused, it's a bit of the old and the new here, with of course that quarter line, so to speak, in both terms, either called the 25 in yards or the 23 in metres. 16-yard hit or the 15-metre hit these days. Interchangeable, universal speak of hockey. And that's a nice, well-placed stick from Hung, who was right at the top of the D in the danger zone. Whoops. Kang Moon Kwe. The loose touch, and he's back in there among it and wins the hit.
Well, away out the right of our shot during that passage of play. There was a brief question to the umpire about the foot in the circle, but it was accidental, unintentional. So it wasn't a penalty corner.
Kang. Ooh, that one just was a bit sharp for Kane Russell. Hopped away. It's okay though. Hung, his son, back to Kang, and high reset here. Tang out to the left, and that was a pretty good ball from Nam. Black Sticks just having to hold firm here. Bit of sustained pressure from the Koreans, looking to equalise after that goal after 13 seconds.
Well, it's better from Korea. It's fairly well known, the higher you hold the ball up the pitch, the more consistent possession you have. Any mistake from your opponent is kind of a higher tariff reward, better outcome.
Jun.
It was 5.
He'll get another chance. Han. Oh, had to be booted away by Manchester, and that's a dangerous ball, but nicely deflected away by Jared Pancher.
Manchester had to be patient and showed real composure in his goal mouth, because he could quite easily have panicked and kicked that out high, giving away a penalty corner.
Really built the wall at the moment there, just all the men in black inside the 25. Good low stick from the experienced Nick Hague.
Nick Hague was looking for Hilton to lead away in front of him. That's a lovely little reverse overhead dink. That's what he was looking for from Hilton in the first instance. Because Hilton didn't lead, it kept the defenders close to Hague.
Oh, and lost his stick, but almost got it back. Not before Jun puts the ball beyond the back line. Lee Nam-hyung again up far away, and there's Jun Byun-jing. Korea certainly spending more time at the right end of the park. And also inside that 23-metre, 25-yard attacking quarter area. 13-6, more than twice the circle penetrations. A lot of them, as we've been mentioning, wild blazing, hoping for a deflection. But they're just having a good little sustained period here early in the second half.
They are. New Zealand seem unable to build the play up out of their own half. It's a little bit speculative, as opposed to the first half when they had good interchanges down both flanks. The Koreans are getting touches on almost every pass as it's played forward. It means that the play isn't clean and it's a bit individual.
Edwards with some brilliant skill down the right. Childs there with him. That's Simon. Oh, and Ingles and Hague mucking it up between them. Shaw with the touch, but quick auto pass taken. The Koreans are appealing that the Black Sticks player hadn't retired the 5 metres from that auto pass, and they wanted the ball back. But the umpire said play on.
Yeah, the umpire said play on, and there was communication between the two umpires, because neither of them saw it, and that doesn't surprise me, because the angle of the pass was straight down the midline of the pitch, and if there was a deflection off the player's stick or their foot as they didn't retreat the requisite distance, I just don't think the umpires saw it.
Andy Hayward. Well, that's a well-read interception from the captain, Lee Seong-il. 31 years of age, cap 154 today for the skipper of the Koreans, and a long overhead from Tang. Very, very, very deep and almost controlled by Lee Nam-yeon.
That was a massive overhead. The bounce took it 10 feet above his head. He was jumping with his stick up, still couldn't get there.
So this contest between the world number 6, New Zealand, and the world number 7, Korea, who have played some pretty good hockey in the last couple of years since London. When you look at the finishing positions at the Olympics, where Korea finished 8th and New Zealand 10th. So for those world rankings to be where they are, it shows that they've improved a little since we've left the Smurf turf of the Rabobank Arena. And now an isolator. Oh, for a moment I thought that Jennings was going to get that, but Nam did well.
Jennings has got another touch, and that just shows the tenacity of him. He's just continuing to fight in those bottom corners. It'd be quite easy just to back away and allow Korea to come out. But when New Zealand press high, they do press well. They've got good shape.
Reverse stick shot without great penetration, and luckily Kim Sin-jol in the right spot. The keeper did have to go to ground in anticipation of it getting through.
I think he went to ground in anticipation, not only the ball getting through, but also of Burrows in front of him. Because the hit in wasn't that hard, but there was a New Zealand player that I do think was Burrows in front, and a small deflection. The goalkeeper had to get right out behind to try and smother it.
Still just the one goal in the game. It came 13 seconds in, but Korea certainly in the last little period looking as if they're taking a bit more territory down that right end of screen that they're attacking in this second half. Jung has Hyun off the deflection. Oh, what a tackle. Child. He's got some space off that brilliant challenge, and he's got some help as well. Dumped back to him by McAleese, and looked for a moment they were going to surge all the way forward. Just a brief pause. Now they set through Burrows down to Ingles, and a good touch from the Korean defender. It was Kang, or should I say it was Sun Man-jae.
Well, Sung did so well as he accelerated and had to turn to chase Ingles, he got his left hand right down on the turf. So then as Ingles tried to pull the ball back onto his feet to win a cheap penalty corner, it go into the back of his hand on his stick. No foul at all, and Korea could come away with it. But what a passage of play down through the midfield. 3 underarm passes. Problem was, I think the third one was unnecessary and actually took the pace out of the attack. The second one just needed a forward pass to continue to put Korea under sustained pressure.
Yes, well, a man of Child's skill and reputation is just hold that thought. Young working the back line, plenty of company from Russell, and the support comes. Yes, a man of Child's reputation. He could have kept going himself, and then, well, not only has he got the running game, but almost there, that long ball.
He sees this, it's a cut in from left to right. It's only about 1.5 meters out of the touch.
Instructions very clear from Colin Batch to Aaron Pancher. And just continue to look to right of screen. Korea again. Sun Man-jae. That's a miss-hit incursion, but Hayward puts it over the side. So Yu says, I'll keep going at you. But lost behind. Was there a, yes, there was a black stick on it, so long corner.
Yeah, Hayward was smart with the ball that was smashed into the circle. He knew that he just wanted to deflect it away rather than try and pick it clean.
Kiwi's ball among that tangle, and well, there's the offender, but quickly Child was again streaming downfield. His pass doesn't find a teammate.
For me, it was like that. So please keep it easy. So I think for us, but this is what I saw. All right, easy, easy. Play.
Korean coach right on the edge of the pitch there.
Paco Vasquez dealt with that very well, but I'm pretty sure one of the technical officials will be having a quiet word down there that the coach can't start to try and get in the face of the umpires. There's a line that you don't cross, not just the actual white one.
Oh, and on the back line. Again, the Black Stick swarm to come free, but I'm sure that Colin Batch is just a little concerned with the amount of time that Korea is spending in attack. On the counter, though, here's a chance. Pancha flips it back. At the numbers with Korea, and a nice bit of weaving work from Hung and Song. We'll have to go again, Hung. And long corner.
Well, Child happy to chase it, been all over the front line. Some real energy about his running. He was out on the left flank a moment ago, chasing the ball down, trying to get it on the attack from his brother across the other side of the pitch.
So now Hayward dumps it all the way back to Cousins for the reset. Inside 19 minutes to play. Still Black Sticks 1, Korea 0. And both teams still have their referral in hand. That's the green dot you see top left of screen above the team code near the score. A wild cross there. Well, that was almost Korean style from Phil Burrows. But a bit more conventional, close to the back line, was looking for that touch.
Well, we talked about already, if you're going to crash the ball in, you want to crash it in down a particular playing channel. And that one from Burrows, because the pace of his acceleration down the right had got him behind the defensive line. He could crash it between the defenders and the goalkeeper.
Sure. Back for Tarrant and all the way back for the skipper to reset. I think the Kiwis will be happy just to have a bit of control in midfield, considering the flow of play of recent times, but they've turned it over again. Nam trying to work that tight left wing. They'll keep the ball, Korea. Jongman Jae. And Hyun, well challenged by Alan Pancha. And that's a nice interception. But Hilton's pass is dangerous and is intercepted. Oh, but for the poor execution from Nan Hyun. Oh, could have been a bad blow for the Black Sticks off that poor pass from Hilton.
I was going to say, you called it dangerous. I was just about to go appalling in terms of execution. Dangerous for New Zealand in terms of, you can see what he's trying to do, open up the space. And we've mentioned before that if you get it on turnover, you want to go laterally to create some different passing lanes. Exactly what was needed in principle, but the execution just dreadful in that one moment.
McAleese, hard and low, but it's going to come back just as hard and low. One-on-one battle there. Well, Tarrant's given away the free hit. Coming up quickly, Young says, I'll take control. Kim to no one. Kim Sin-jo. There's the coach, Shin Suk-kyo. Very close to encroaching on the pitch a short time ago. It's basically 0-0 if you take away that 13 seconds of madness at the start of the game. But it all counts, and that Edwards goal is still the difference. And now, what's going on here? It looks like, is this the Korean challenge?
Yeah, it's a Korean challenge.
I didn't think it was the umpire's challenge, so they're hoping for a penalty corner here.
Please check if it was a body contact from New Zealand inside the D, please.
It's okay, Doctor, we'll have a look. What did you see?
That the ball is the body of your player.
Yeah, no, what did you see?
That one.
What? So a free hit for us? Or turning corner, because you blew nothing?
I did nothing, so if it's another season possible, going to be a bully.
But what I'm asking is, what did you guys?
Nothing. I didn't blow nothing. No. Yeah?
Play on.
If it's inclusive, going to be a bully. Is that right?
Well, Dean Cousins just trying to work out what is going to happen if the video umpire can't work out what's happened here, i.e. if it's inconclusive, what's going to happen? What was your feeling?
Well, it's been chopped down into the turf. Can't really see who it was chopped down into the turf. Two players both appealing for it. There's the contact. The contact's pretty clear to me on that replay as it's popped up and hit Tarrant in the left thigh. But who pops it up? Well,
Yeah, that's the question. Is it off a Korean stick?
Because both the players' arms go up exactly the same time. So there's the ball bouncing in.
I think that's off the Korean
I'd
stick.
suggest the Koreans put
McAleese has
that up.
pushed it onto the Korean stick, which has gone into the body of Taryn.
Yeah, that to me, look, there's the final touch. Because that can't come up off McAleese because of the angle where the ball goes. McAleese can't have played it into the turf.
I'm sure there's a physics teacher somewhere saying this is impossible to have come off a black stick.
Quite possibly.
We might be proven wrong.
It did hit the defender, but it came from a Korean stick. So therefore, it should be a free to the defense. And Korea lose their referral.
It's going to be, we go for a free hit for New Zealand and Korea lose the referral. Is it all right?
Yes, free hit to New Zealand.
As we expected.
Yeah. Spot on. So it's lifted dangerously off the Korean stick. It was the Korean who lifted the ball. So whilst it hit the New Zealand body, it was lifted by the Korean.
Boys, easy. It's an answer from the video, so it's enough. He's reviewing everything. All right?
Well, there's a lot of language barriers here holding things up. And really, this is the part of the game where you don't need a written explanation of the video umpire. Just take the decision and move on. They've obviously looked at all of... in essence, it doesn't matter how he's made his decision. The decision's been made, and it's not the on-field umpire's decision.
Correct. He doesn't have umpire. The on-field umpire is literally relaying what the video umpire has said, and that's the parameters that have been set. That's how the whole thing works. So Paco Vasquez is absolutely clear.
Asking the Prince to make a declaration when it's really the King who's in charge.
Andy Mayer being called the King, he'd be delighted with that. If you could frame a quote, that's it. Andy Mayer is the King.
Well, we've still got a bit over a quarter of an hour left in this one at the 2014 World Cup in The Hague, and well, confusion there. This second day encounter has seen great drama at the start, as we keep talking about, but earlier on in this pool today, the two big guns, Germany and the Netherlands, with victories. The Black Sticks looking to join them, but Korea has perhaps a last say here, as Kim on the turn sees it over the back line, so long corner. You get the sense there's another goal in this, and Korea's been doing a lot of the attacking. Was that off the shin pads of Hague or off the stick? I thought it was off the
shin
foot.
pad. Yeah, shin pad. It has been given to Korea. It's just got a feeling that New Zealand hanging on. Korea have just really turned a screw physically.
Hung in Song, and that quick ball all down near the bottom corner. Stroke is awarded as the tangle between O and Pancha results in a stroke. Oh Dae-kyun has done the job.
Korean player got the ball, and then he was the push when he was going to put the ball to the goal.
Yeah, Panchir's been penalised as he turns.
All right, we go for video.
As Panchir turns, he leans into the Korean forward. Paco Vasquez feeling that the Korean forward had a clear shot at goal.
First, and the Korean player fouls the New Zealand player.
All right. And did you got it, or do you want me to repeat?
Yes, I heard that. That's okay. We'll have a look.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah, to me, without the replay, Panchir was off balance as he twisted. The ball kind of popped behind him. Played in completely legitimately. So did the Korean player have it under control? I'm not sure the Korean player had it under control. It was underneath his feet. Could suggest it's a real 50-50, and there's stick obstruction there. Is there any contact as he goes to swing? Is Panchir pressing against O?
Well, certainly O's collision with the turf looks something that might be a bit more suitable to the World Cup in Brazil than the World Cup here in the Netherlands. He did make the most of it.
He did make the most of it. There's initial contact between the two of them, so you could argue there's the shoulder contact, but that's a corner at most. Now, was there any contact? You can't see from that angle because Paco Vasquez is behind the Korean player.
Well, I get the feeling that the on-field umpire is...
Is there any contact at that moment as he tries to shoot, or has he just missed the ball?
He swung himself off his feet,
in
a sense.
Now this goes back to our earlier conversation about what can Andy Mayer go back to. I'd suggest that the shoulder-to-shoulder by Panchir initially is aggressive and could be a corner, but I don't think that's then a stroke, and I'm not sure how much he can go back to.
Well, perhaps the problem here with the system is that can the video umpire overrule the interpretation of the on-field for what is the sanction for the foul? Because the interpretation is...
No reason to change your decision.
Yep, there we go. There was a foul, and the video can't really overturn the nature of the sanction. Perhaps it should have been a corner, but on-field said stroke, and that's where we're going.
No, no reason to change means you miss referral. You lose the referral. Why? Because we say it's not reason to change the decision. That's how it was. So he agreed with the decision.
So is that the best way to explain it? That in a sense, the nature of sanction has been decided on field, and the video umpire can't change that.
Yeah, so Vasquez has interpreted the foul as a deliberate foul in the course of a shot, and therefore it is a penalty stroke.
And a chance to level the scores for Korea from the spots. It's hit the bar. Oh, it's missed it. It's hit the bar and come out. And Chang Jung-hyun cannot believe it. All the Black Sticks are saying justice has been served.
Well, of course they feel justice has been served. He's just got under it. There's a little touch that you see in the replay as the ball picks it off the spot. Second touch as he really fires that top corner.
Well, Devon Manchester was absolutely no chance.
Nowhere near it.
Another interesting turn of fate. So New Zealand lost its referral after all of that as well.
So neither team
has a referral.
2 red dots.
New Zealand lead 1-0 with a tick over 14 to play. Oh, that's a
If there ever was a wild ball down, that's it.
Again, just taking the moment to consume all the drama here.
Oh, was there was there? Was there? There was nothing there. Over there. Over there.
Were you happy enough with the call for stroke in the end, Simon, after all of that?
I think we go all the way through to the fact it's about interpretation. Andy Mayer can't question the interpretation. If there is no clear reason to change your decision, then the interpretation stands. And Vasquez's decision was the penalty stroke.
So here's Hung, just defensive side of midfield, and a bit of noise around the stadium. Not certainly a huge amount of Kiwi and Korean fans here. We saw the sparsely populated stands at the start, but there's a few more around now. The neutral Dutch-loving hockey fans, well, they've probably worked out a favourite by now, but they're sticking around to enjoy the closing phases of this one. Shaw controls in midfield.
And the purists out there looking for the hockey that exists. There's the real swing from first half when technically New Zealand were better. There was more composure to their play. There was more build-up, and the Koreans we criticised for just slamming it into the circle. Second half, it's turned on its head. Korea have really built things up.
The eyes focused on the hockey, being shaded from this beautiful Sunday evening sunshine. And Korea yet again inside the 25, but that's a nice stick from Nick Hague, who's coming away, but well done by Lee Nam-hyung. This is just lifting again now. Here's Yo. Happy to show some patience. All the way back to the captain, Lee Seong-il.
Korea need to move this ball laterally as they're doing, make New Zealand work if they want inroads into the circle.
And that took deflection off a black stick for being batted behind. Lee decides to just come a little closer, and now some space on the reverse. Another ball cannons off the corner post. Yu Kyo-sik. Oh, he'd be feeling sick after that.
Oh, he caught it hard. I thought it had got a touch in front of Manchester, and that was what was going to really score the goal. There wasn't a secondary Korean touch in the circle.
Well, there's still a chance for Korea. Pancha has to dump it away. Korea have done everything but equalise.
Absolutely. So they hit the bar from stroke. They've hit the post from an open play, reverse stick, top of the D. You couldn't have had much better angle, and yet it's now New Zealand who come away.
Hague to Hilton with some space on the left. He's got Pancher coming up in support. Back to Hague. Doesn't take the shot, and perhaps with that second to really have a swing, he should have taken his moment.
Couldn't agree with you more, Quentin. Here we see the backhand chopped out the. That was the touch I thought was going to score the goal. It was missed on that near post, with Manchester pretty much beaten if there'd been the touch, as it was rebounding harmlessly away.
Well, some terrific theatre out here on the Greenfield Stadium.
Pancher's picked up a green card for getting an ugly stick tackle.
And again, the patient build-up. Haven't seen it as much of that blazing into the circle from Korea in the last portion of the game.
No, and as soon as they've stopped doing it, they've been far more effective. It's almost like they've suddenly had this fantastic revelation of how to attack the New Zealand circle and the outcomes they can get if they're just a bit more patient and rely on their skills and their elimination ability.
Tarrant was very good on Kang there. It's extricated from the corner, and it's going to be Korea in control. Kang again, and that had to be cleared away by Steve Edwards, goal scorer at that end in the first minute. Goal saver, 10 from time.
Well, Steve Edwards has picked that forehand in front of his own goal and decided the best route away is then to go backhand, but goal side of the attacker.
That's a beautiful ball to the right corner. Jung. It's over the back line for a long corner. 2 balls on the pitch.
Drop the ball, drop the ball. Oh, that's why the line is made there.
I don't quite understand at this moment in time where Yenis is standing in the middle of the pitch. He's not helping cut the pitch in half at all. Well, really disengaged from his defence and with a man down. So I understand now he wants to be high to lead high.
And there's the clearance from Edwards right across the face of Manchester's goal. 28-year-old goal scorer today, and there's the younger Pancher on the bench.
He can't have much of his suspension left. He'll be back into play now late in the game. How much of those 2 minutes of extra work, how much have they hurt his team?
And now the high press from the Korean midfield. They're chasing the game. Hayward with a long ball to no avail. And indeed now Pancher has run back in to the field of play just away from. Now look at some of those Kiwi faces, wet with sweat. Intensely concentrating on this last phase, trying to hang on to that lead which came 13 seconds into the game. Jung.
If they are going to be successful, it's about their ability to process information now when their brains are just thinking about survival. Heart and lungs, heart definitely pumping, lungs absolutely needing to be filled up with
Here's
oxygen.
A turnover, and 5 black shirts on 1 Korean there, and quickly the auto pass taken by Lee. And again, just the weight of numbers ensuring that that black wall doesn't allow the ball to penetrate into the D.
And it was completely weight of numbers, wasn't it? That was 3 black sticks pretty much on their haunches, sticks flat on the turf. Shin guards a barrier behind those in case the ball's lifted slightly, denying that straight line route to goal. And maybe it's that successful defence that's actually prompted Korea. Look at that, 26 over penetrations and more outcomes definitely than they had in the first half.
McAleese looking for Pancher, but the touch fails him. And again, Korea can set up. 7 minutes to play. 7 and counting, and it's still 1-0 to the boys from the land of the long white cloud. Plenty of energy, though, around the D for Korea. Lee again. That's Lee Nam-hyung, but... oh, that's a lazy clearance from Edwards. Nice touch from Hyun. It allows the skipper Lee, and down goes that was at the edge of the circle. Play on. Scramble of sticks. Goal! It is in from Kim Sin-jo, and they they do equalise. It seemed to take forever, but it does eventuate for Korea. It's 1-1.
Yeah, New Zealand got pulled a little bit out of position. The first ball into the head of the circle. New Zealand appealing that here is there a stick obstruction to let the ball go through. Korea carrying on the passage of play though. Umpire Vasquez, great advantage. Then it's fed back. Manchester's committed to the ball. Finish off the knees, unable to get back. There's the equaliser.
The 27-year-old Kim Sin-jo slapping it home to draw us level with 6 minutes to play, and now real concern, particularly for the Kiwi fans, and optimism, I would think. I know we've only got 6 to play, and I don't know, but to my mind, Simon, there's only one team that can win this.
At this moment in time, you're absolutely right. The counter being that New Zealand have got some unbelievably talented individuals who could turn this on, but they've seemed to have lost their way in this first 30 minutes of this second half.
Well, Marcus Child trying to create something.
Outside, that's good call. It's on.
Here's Edwards again. And his skill just failing him on that backline surge. Whoops. Miss hit.
Well done, boys, well done. Well done.
Again, more fortune than quick reaction for the Black Sticks to get on that loose pass. Shaw just found it dribbling towards him in midfield. Oh, great energy from Lee Nan-hyong. There's a real buzz about the Asian nation here.
Yeah, the Black Sticks really need to make sure they talk to each other, because Korea are quite happy to leave men in high advanced positions and then chase back to tackle back from behind. Kane Russell there under pressure. If you don't get a call from behind, you can't see it coming, and the ball suddenly is nicked away from you and you're out of position defensively.
Russell was trying to bullock his way through there. And finally, we see the ball inside the attacking quarter for New Zealand. Burrows to Tarrant, and he wants it back in the left corner, does the veteran. Quick little set play. Simon Child draws the foot. That was beautifully done. That was a set play looking for the penalty corner, and they've earned it.
And that's where the experience of your playmakers comes in. Burrows dictated every minute of that. The end result, the outcome not coming from Burrows, but another veteran, Simon Child, dinking it onto a foot, but it was Burrows. All about Burrows as he ran down, took the free hit, re-led, under his arm, Child under his arm as well.
What would be going through that man's mind?
Well, I'm pretty sure he'll have looked at replays, real-time replays of the Korean corner defence. Looks like they're running a 2-and-2 box from up here.
Russell and McAleese at the top of the battery. Is there a late winner for New Zealand? Oh, great charge from Hyung Hee-sung. I think he was the runner that deflected that shot away. Another corner though, penalty corner.
Yeah, the ball was drilled into the circle, a spin from New Zealand. Here from Child, spins it round so aggressively, and it pops underneath the stick onto the toe. Frustrating corner to give away for Korea.
It was technically almost perfect defence there from Kim Sin-jo, getting low, but that force of the ball going under his stick onto the toe. Again, Russell and McAleese. It's Russell, and it's batted away, but batted in! The veteran Burrows has done it, and New Zealand return to the lead.
They do indeed, but we'll look on the replay. I'm not convinced that went out the D. Korea don't have a referral, and they haven't gone to any sort of contest. We'll see on the replay. I really am not convinced that's gone over the white line. As it comes out, does that come out the D? I'm not convinced that comes out the D in the first place, but even so, nobody, well, it can't be appealed. There's no replay left. The goalkeeper didn't get a good left hand. Rebound finished well.
Well, and Korea now looking for a late equaliser. But this is going to be a timeout for a man down. Nick Hague. It's good to see he's up and okay. Here's the just been struck midships.
Oh, McAleese has stitched him up completely by just getting out the way and waving that through. Hague standing behind him, hasn't seen it till he's copped it.
Well, that's, again, another replay. Looks hard from that angle. We'll put it down to tough from the angle. Meanwhile, there could be a third after all of this, but again, Korea able to turn it away through Tsang.
Well, the ball pops up, doesn't it, on the replay? It pops up into the air, so you can't see whether it's come up out of the circle and then been knocked back in again.
Of course, the ball must be entirely across the width of the white
whole
line.
ball over the whole line for it to be considered to have come outside the circle.
So after all of that, what Korea had the lead for, was level for 3 minutes, if that?
Yeah.
And we're now inside the last minute of this extraordinary Pool B contest. Thumped away to safety. The Black Sticks won't care of the story. They'll just look at the scoreline and take the 3 points. A heartbreaker for Korea unless they can find another equaliser. It's Jung. Well controlled. Sun will put it in. Well, this is the time for the glory ball. Inside the last half minute. Or perhaps they're trying to draw a late corner. Here goes Pancha. That should be enough. Jenis is going to dribble away to the corner and try and keep these 3 minute bay, you'd think, but no, he can't keep it on his stick.
He should have
Time counting down.
the corner flag, absolutely.
Inside the last 10.
It's got to be crashed in. They've done it all game. Why would they not do it then?
Simon Charles says, get us out of here. We'll take the 3 points and run. New Zealand win with Burrows, the late hero. The Black Sticks scored early, scored late, and won the game 2-1 over Korea. And the story goes much beyond the numbers that represent the outcome.
Doesn't it just? We see again, I'm still convinced on the super slow-mo that would show us that has not gone out the D, but nobody contested it. Burrows finished it as well he does.
Well, it's going to be a great talking point of a game of many talking points. The Black Sticks are happy. They've got the job done. 1-0 at half-time. Turns into a 2-1 victory for New Zealand.
Boys.
Well, just wonder how both teams are going to analyse this. 34-year-old in the end, off the deflection from the keeper, Lee Myung-ho, was able to get his stick on it, Phil Burrows, and push it home. They can smile now.
Yeah, those guys will think that they've done enough. They'll think that they just really turned the screws in the second half, created enough chances, changed their tactics, and should have come away with something.
Well, there's the contentious decision that gave the penalty stroke, but Jung off the crossbar. Manchester was beaten. And then a second time where the infrastructure played its part for the Black Sticks. And then this brilliant finish in the end from Kim Sing-jo, slinging his stick at the ball as he was going to turf. That was the equaliser, only for this contentious trap to result in a Burrows tip-in.
Yeah, not a great bit of goalkeeping. Keeper should have got rid of that. It's fired to his left hand. He's got the edge of a glove, which is what's brought it down beneath his feet, and then he's unable to get across to do anything about it.
Good bit of skill, it must be said, even though Burrows was right in front of goal. Under all that pressure, he puts it home.
Yeah, but look, the circle penetrations from Korea, they turned the smash crash ball into something far more meaningful in the second half. Much, much more possession.
Well, let's get down to Nick Irvin, pitch side.
Well, Dean, that looked like pretty hard work from my angle.
Yeah, it certainly was. Really proud of the guys' effort today. Really dug deep, so very pleasing in the effort side of things.
A fantastic start and an electric finish as well, but a few things in the middle that didn't look quite so pretty.
Certainly, I think you have nailed it there. We have a lot to do to, I think we've got big improvements left in us. The result was a big one for us. I think it gives us the confidence to, keep moving forward, which is really big for us. It gives what's quite a young group that real lift, which is what we need. But certainly back to the video and lots to improve on, but excellent result.
And no doubt you're delighted to get your World Cup campaign underway here. What's your first impressions of the Den Haag setup?
I think it's the best I've been involved with. I think London was absolutely outstanding too, but I think here you have a truly like a hockey feel. You've got a real hockey family around and people like in and out of the tents and what have you. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to play all the teams in the main stadium too. It'll be great. What
will you see as a satisfactory outcome of this World Cup for you?
Well, I think first and foremost you want to stay to your ranking. So for us that's top 6, but we just want to take it game by game and then see where we finish up at the end. Where have South Africa next, and that's just got to be our next focus. Just prepare well, recover well from this game and go again.
Well, Dean, thanks for joining us. Well done today and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Africa out on this pitch on Tuesday for the Black Sticks, while the Koreans play the night feature against the Olympic silver medalists and hosts the Netherlands out on Kyocera Stadium. Well, Simon Mason, great to have you along for the ride, and didn't it feel like a magic carpet ride at times, that game? So many ebbs and flows, but 3 points in the book for the Black Sticks.
They'll be delighted. They fought hard, they played really well early doors, and then the Koreans came back into it. New Zealand had to show some real tenacity to scrap right to the end and take the points.
So Germany, the Netherlands and New Zealand winners. Now we have all results from the first day of Pool B. Korea, Argentina and South Africa forced to come from behind. It was Germany 4-0 earlier today over South Africa. The Netherlands with a good win over Argentina, and what we've seen here ensures that the Kiwis are in that top 3 heading into the second day of their tournament. 2-1 to New Zealand. Hope you enjoyed it with us here at Greenfield Stadium.